Well, howdy there, Sigma racing fans. Tonight we come at you live from Atlanta for the ARCA series, the Sigma ARCA series, the 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 Georgia Peach Blast 100. Had to do a double take on the name for this one, as this is the fourth race of the ARCA season. Front row, you've got Carlos Eduardo alongside Sophie Harwick. Behind that, you've got Cassie Perkins and Jamison Thole, Santi Messi and Steven Miller, Violet Void, who's been fighting for the overall points lead, starting decent here tonight, maybe looking to reclaim the lost points lead that she lost from Phoenix. Alongside Alex Sanvital, we've seen Alex Sanvital racing in all the racing action in Atlanta so far this week between trucks and Bridge to Cup. Then you've got Finley Herwig and Rand Kataz, Chase Kovacic and Jonah Burridge, Casey Klein and Dylan Smith, Craig Popkris and Kyle Ottawa, Ralph Oberstadt and Kaylee Sheets, Brandon Butler II alongside Tasha Wright, Drew Clue and Taylor Cording, Ace Vaden and Shy Turtle, Ryan White and Logan Nagy, Joseph Hayes and Hank Scorpio, Donovan Heist and AJ Kosnoff, Evan Snake and Chasey Plays, Craig Bush and Timothy Buchanan, Bailey Parker, Joao Vitor, Billy Lovejoy and Heen Clutchoke, Campbell Marsh and Matthew Hubert, with Wormy Wormington and Ray Marcus rounding out the rest of the field here today. 65 laps for the grand total of 100 miles here. Not much of a run. Obviously, these ARCA drivers definitely run shorter races than the rest of our league. Should still be enough length to see at least a round of pit stops here tonight. Carlos Eduardo, back-to-back races starting on the front row. That's impressive, especially from being a newcomer as he is.
Oh, yeah, I got you last clear.
This is only his fourth career Sigma ARCA start.
And if Bones wants to know what channel he's on, channel 1.
The pace car is pulling off out of Atlanta's turn 4. As they get to the restart zone, the flagman with the green flag in hand, waving it furiously now. We're off and rolling from Atlanta here tonight, folks. This ARCA series definitely a bit of a wild card, as we've seen a lot of parity, a lot of unique, different winners. And that stretches all the way from last year to this year. Every year that we run this series, this is only the second inaugural season. Second to the inaugural, the second season. And yeah, it continues to amaze us with the parity, the talent that's waiting in the wings here. These are drivers that have not yet made it up to the Cup side, but proven that they've got some talent here. Finley Herwig in third. He's an interesting scenario. As let me pull up our points standings. Yeah, Finley Herwig sits second in the points right now. And that is because he's finished 7th, 7th, and 8th. That win, it's around the corner for that 68 team. Unfortunately, failed to qualify for the Cup race at his home track of Brands Hatch. But with the news that Brands Hatch will be on the schedule for Bridge to Cup next year. And Finlay Herwig's already got the pieces in place to make a move up the ladder into Bridge to Cup as well. You're going to have an opportunity there to see him racing at his home track next year. I'm sure a lot of this kind of all falls into place here. You know, the success, it's there. We've seen it, and they've already got the pieces in place to move him up the ladder. I mean, you can't work it any better than that. If you're gonna move up the ladder, you might as well show that you've got what it takes, and he's doing just that as he takes the lead away from Carlos Eduardo there. Ralph Oberstadt just behind him. I'm going to get the name right this time. That 78, Ralph Oberstadt, whom we just saw win in the last race at Phoenix. He's going to the lead here on Finlay Herwig, and we've got a battle for the lead spot here early in this one. 65 laps. They're going to clip by pretty quickly here tonight at Atlanta. The Bridge to Cup race was over within an hour and a half. This one being a lot shorter, it might be about a 30-minute affair. These ARCA cars still getting up to speeds relatively close to Bridge to Cup. We saw 202 miles an hour last night from Tim Cording. Fastest lap so far is that of Ace Vaden, who's up to second, and he's got a 197.2. And just like that, Ace Vaden to the lead. So the racing department, as they are referred to after TRD definitely changed its presence. No longer the Toyota Racing Department, or Toyota Racing Development doesn't exist. It is Toyota Gazoo, but team keeps the moniker TRD even after the change of Toyota's business product, I guess, or business model. And they're simply referred to as the racing department, headed by Atlee Weiss. That team looking stout here tonight. Already have had a victory with the 78 of Ralph Oberstadt. Ace Vaden fighting for positions as you got Casey Klein leading. Wow, out of nowhere, the number 2 of Billy Lovejoy. He qualified outside the top 30, and here he is fighting for a top 5 position. That is insanely crazy good racing to come from the back like that. Heck, you've got the 79 of Chasey Plays and even the 76 of Ray Marcus. Ray Marcus came from dead last in the field here today, and he's up in the top 10. About to be in the top 5. Here we go, 3 wide for the lead. It's Billy Lovejoy going low. As this is not a long race for these folks, they had to make mail, haul mail. There's a phrase I want to come up with there, but he's definitely cruising up to the front of the field and making it his own. But as quickly as he takes the lead, he also loses it, this time to Craig Bush in the LFG Motorsports number 18 Chevy SS. Donovan Heist right there behind him. That is Tyler Aspinall Racing with a Ford powered number 25 there. Santi Messi goes low. Still all 42 cars out on track. No retirements. No insane shenanigans yet. with 50 laps to go. So they'll be racing definitely to the first round of pit stops, it seems. Unless we get a caution, then everyone will take the pit stop under caution, and we would be still roughly good to go all the way to the finish. I want to say it's about a 50-lap window or so for pit stops here. So just a little over that window. But if a caution were to drop right now, they could get back in the money. And that's Campbell Marsh there in the number 99, one of the newcomers to the league. He also came from deep in the field to get up here into the top 5. Craig Bush holding the lead. 25, Donovan Heist making a move down low. You've got a Ford with a couple Chevys, a Toyota, and even a Dodge mixed into your top 5 right now. Santi Messi going to the lead, takes the position away from Donovan Heist. And that 13 is coming as well. You've got 79 of Chasey Plays and the 13 of Craig Popcris. Taylor Courting making some hay, moving through the field. She's up into 4th. Joseph Hayes up into the top 5. Miller, you got that 83 peeking into the picture. The lone GTO of the series. 3 wide for 3rd. Is it going to go to Joseph Hayes or Taylor Courting? Well, advantage right now, Joseph Hayes, as Taylor Courting with very little room to get down low. Getting shuffled backwards here. There we've got another race winner from this season, the 70 of Ryan White. Won the season opener from Armory Digital Super Speedway. And just now cracking into the top 5 himself. Timothy Buchanan has climbed, so there's a lot of drivers that have started at the back and have moved all the way up to the front here. This is a revolving door of drivers moving all the way throughout the field. Definitely makes for some excitement here tonight, as it's very unpredictable as to who can get the win here. This is probably the closest thing we could get to super speedway racing on a non-super speedway packaged track. That right there is the 6th of Matthew Hubert. Joseph Hayes takes over the lead. Ryan White up to 3rd. Your current points leader is the 45 of Jonah Burridge. And to find where Jonah's running, let's skim through the field here. Ouch! Jonah Burridge is mired all the way back here in 30th. 33rd to be exact. So your points leader not having a good showing here. Obviously, we haven't even made it to halfway yet, so there's a lot of racing still to be done, but not looking pretty right out of the gate. The other driver in second is the 68 of Finley Herwig, and he currently resides mid-pack. Right there in 26th. Went from fighting for the lead to dropping all the way outside the top 20. So This race definitely has a lot going on right now. You got to kind of factor in some of these drivers might be safetying up a little bit, saving their tires for a late race push. You know, there's a lot of factors that could really ultimately explain this. Only truly do the teams and the driver know what they've got in the tank. But it truly makes for an interesting cast of characters at the front of the field. We don't often see Matthew Hubert and Shy Turtle. I mean, has had a couple rough start races this season, but running second and currently resides in 11th in the points, so not a bad start to the season for Shy Turtle. His worst race was Armory, where he ended up with a 33rd, but he bounced back with a 5th and then a 10th at the last 2 races. And he's showing off here tonight with a top 5 run, slowly closing into halfway on this one. Ryan White, 3rd in the points. As they would be running right now, he would be your new points leader. Or I guess, in other words, he would get the points lead back as he held it from race 1, winning the season opening race at Armory. His worst race was last week at Phoenix with a 23rd. He had a 1st, 12th, and a 23rd. So, looking stout here tonight at Atlanta. Violet Void starting to catch back up to the front of the field here as she desperately wants to get that points lead back that she lost. So she's up into the top 10 right now with a little help there from Taylor Cording. Also got Carlos Eduardo, your pole sitter, working his way back up to the front of the field. But they're all chasing the 70 of Ryan White. So we're going to take a little Sigma side-by-side break here, folks, but we'll keep the cameras rolling on the racing action. Well, we're under caution here tonight at Atlanta. And we'll have to see exactly what transpired here. We just got over halfway a little while ago. And we'll see. It looks like possibly the 33 here of Hank Scorpio might have been involved in an altercation, an accident, a wreck, whatever it might be here. Ooh, and they hooked him in the 80. It was a wreck that almost didn't happen, and then it got worse. So unfortunately, the 80 of Kyle Ottawa gets tangled up there. Alex Sanvital just clipped at the end of it. That's just one of those racing incidents, you know. It's unfortunate moment of misjudgment there. Kind of why it is the ARCA series after all. That's a crime on Dodge. Got 3 Dodge darts all involved in the wreck there. Well, this will shake things up a little bit. And it looks like the lead might shuffle around here to Timothy Buchanan. So I'm going to go ahead and take another quick side-by-side break, but I'll be right back. Alrighty. Well, the racing's really starting to kick up here as we are down to 23 laps to go. With the pit stops they made just during the caution there, they'll be good to go to the finish. We have one retirement out of the race, the 33 of, that would have been Hank Scorpio, I believe. Yeah, Hank Scorpio out of the race with a fuel-related mechanical failure. And here we have Timothy Buchanan leading, but Carlos Eduardo going to the lead. A few other cars crumpled up from that caution, but they're out there making their laps. You got Tasha right now up to second. Cording Brothers Motorsports had won the Bridge to Cup race just last night with Tim Cording in an exact same number car as the 50 there, so maybe a little bit of good luck for the team. Who knows? She's running in second there, now falling back to third as Cassie Perkins makes the move on the inside. Chase Kovacic kind of out of nowhere there showing up, and the 16 of Heen Clutchoke as we're down to 19 laps remaining. It's getting down to crunch time as it's going to be for all the marbles here shortly. Ace Vaden cuts across in front of the 77. You got Ralph Oberstadt moving into the picture. Timothy Buchanan moving up a few more spots here. Tasha Wright unfortunately stuck up on that high side. That's dropping her backwards. And we've got a battle for the lead brewing here as Cassie Perkins is looking to take the lead away from Carlos Eduardo. Heen Clutchoke and Ace Vaden right behind her. The aggression level starting to kick up another notch as we've got yet another caution. Just ARCA cars being ARCA out there, wrecking and bringing out cautions. We might actually need green-white checkers here tonight. Alrighty, so it looks like it's about mid-pack here. Matthew Hubert in the 6. Ryan White in the 70. Oh, Ryan White goes for a gap that wasn't there and collects a whole bunch of clean cars. That was a miscalculation on Ryan White. At least for him, fortunately, it looks like it might have been minimal damage. But when he tries to cut down on the 32 of Joao Vitor, yep, trying to go for a gap that just was not there. I am going to have to chalk that one up to a learning experience. 70 learned now not to make a move so aggressively. Perhaps for next time. At least it looks like he's going to live to fight for some more laps here tonight. As is a few of the other cars that were involved in the wreck. This is only going to restack them up for another restart. Things will continue to get dicey. We're going to shorten the caution by a lap here so that it's not going to take as long to get back to racing. Actually, let's just do 2 of them. Would you look at that? Oh, crap. It's another ARCA moment as they race around the pace car. That was on me, 100%. Oh, and now we've got another wreck. Oh, boy. Yep. We're we're ARCA racing now, folks. 68, 4 wide into turn 1 here. Oh, and the 77 of Kovacic just slowed up the line of traffic there. It's going to take a little bit of dissecting on that one. .43 of Brandon Butler ends up on his roof. Sigma officials made the miscue there to throw the green flag with the pace car still on track, and as you can see, the rest written in the books here. Fortunately, Kovacic just got forced down low, and that forced a lot of cars into a pileup, turning the middle of turn 2 into a parking lot. Oh, Billy Lovejoy, that's a tough pill to swallow, especially from running 8th here. He gets bumped into the wall and collected in the melee. Violet Void makes it through cleanly. She might have the fortune of clearing a gap that was not likely to be cleared. Well, our retirement list just grew tenfold, as now out of the race, joining the 33 of Hank Scorpio, you've got the 64. .64, which is Drew Clue, the 54, which is Taylor Cording, the 80, which is Kyle Ottawa, 76 of Ray Marcus, the 68 of Finley Herwig, the 43 of Brandon Butler the second, the 77 of Chase Kovacic, and the 27 of Evan Snake, plus the 5 of Santi Messi and the 2 of Billy Lovejoy, as we're going to be down to 31 cars left with 12 laps to go. Yeah, we just, in Sigma ARCA Racing, chalk that up to ARCA moment. Moment of ARCA breaks, whatever you want to call it. That, you'll only see here in the ARCA series usually is those kind of things going to crap. And obviously there's still going to be a winner here tonight. It's not going to be anyone from the pileup of cars that were parked in the middle of turn 2. But whoever wins this race is still going to earn it fair and square. So, heading to the restart here, you've got Heen Clutchoke in the 16 alongside the 15 of Carlos Eduardo. Then you've got the teammates of Ralph Oberstadt and Ace Vaden, AJ Kosnoff, and the 35 of Cassie Perkins. So, Violet Void back in the mix as well. She could get back to the front here in short order. Heen Clutchoke settles in with the lead. You got to figure with 11 laps left now that it's getting down to making the decision that'll put you in the best spot to win it. Heen Clutchoke leads with 10 laps to go. Timothy Buchanan going 3 wide for third place there. Violet Void's going to follow suit right behind him as they all fan out 2 to 3 wide behind. The 45, your current points leader, Jonah Burridge, back towards the front half of the field. He's going to make the most of it here tonight and try to maintain that points lead that he's got from rolling in here. He dominated and won at Indianapolis Raceway Park. So he's already been to victory lane, but wants to keep backing it up. Oh, I think there was smoke. I could be wrong. No, it's just a couple of white cars that look like smoke. So Carlos Eduardo now on the attack as Heen Clutchoke holds the lead. Carlos Eduardo from pole position here today, fighting for the win in the closing laps over Heen Clutchoke, who's kind of been out of nowhere to take this lead in the closing laps. Good run from that 16 for LFG Motorsports. And we do have green-white checkers enabled in case we do have yet another caution in this final stint. These ARCA drivers have definitely been giving it their all here tonight, fighting for every ounce of the track. Carlos Eduardo trying to take a lower groove here on the 16. Peeking on the inside, trying to get a little bit of clean air on that left front. All in the meantime, you've got Violet Void just watching in the background, minding her business here. Two very similar in color, orange-ish paint schemes, and they're running nose to tail right now. They both get by the 16 of Heen Clutchoke, and here comes Timothy Buchanan with Cassie Perkins and the 45 of Jonah Burridge. Here goes Violet Void for the lead. It's going to be close. It's side by side going into turn one. Timothy Buchanan right on the back bumper of the 00 here. Violet Void might be able to lead briefly, but she's going to have to defend as the 34 closes ever so slightly on the back bumper of that 00. We've got lap traffic factor in as well. Ryan White, after making a bad call, trying to block a line of traffic, and now he's in the way. He takes out the leader. No way. Oh, there's gonna be some drama in the Sigma ARCA camp. That stinks to high hell. Violet Void had a win in her sights and had to try and fight around. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, we're gonna see some radioactive on that very particular moment. That just doesn't happen. Only in ARCA, folks. Only in ARCA. There's no reason for it. There's absolutely no reason. Oh, and Chasey plays. Campbell Marsh. Well, we've got a green-white checkers on tap here, folks. I did not think it was going to come down to something as wild and crazy as that. Oh. Okay. Well, Sigma officials are obviously going to have their plates full after tonight. The race win has been erased from at least one driver's plate that should have had a shot at winning it here tonight. Sigma ARCA. You're definitely watching the first tier on the ladder up up the system, and this always it's the first rung of the ladder that's got the most bizarre, the most wild, the most unexplainable. It's just it's despicable. I mean, Ryan White, what was he thinking? Why was he trying to block the racing line from the leaders? Um Back-to-back bad calls on Ryan White is going to look bad in the eyes of the officials. We still have to crown a winner here tonight, folks. I don't know where else to go from here. This has been an interesting one. The lights should go off the pace car next time by, and we're going to be into Sigma overtime racing here tonight. The first time we've actually been able to do some green-white checkered racing this season. Well, the lights are going to stay on another lap here. So let's take a quick moment to skim through the field. Cassie Perkins eyeballing her first ever trip to victory lane in what would be her 4th career start. Another driver in the same scenario with his 4th career start. Jonah Burridge looking to win his 2nd race of the season. Wouldn't be too hard to do from 3rd here on a final green-white checkered restart. Timothy Buchanan within his first career win in his 4th start. Joao Vitor never has one. Dylan Smith, this is only his 3rd career start. Sophie Harwick, 4th in her 4th. I mean, everyone here is pretty much in their first 4. Shy Turtle. Ace Vaden's been around for a while. Heen Clutchoke's been around from last year to this year. AJ Kosnoff's a bit of a veteran, as well as Jamison Thole. Logan Nagy, definitely a veteran of this series. Ralph Oberstadt, he's going to have to come from deep here. Craig Popkris, Rand Kataz, Craig Bush, Stephen Miller, Matthew Hubert, Tasha Wright, Kaylee Sheets, Wormy Wormington, Campbell Marsh. Casey Klein keeps it up on pit road there. So it is time for a little bit of Sigma overtime racing here tonight, and your ticker's obviously not going to be working anymore because we've gotten past lap 65. It doesn't know that you can even go into overtime. It's not designed for it. So we get as many unlimited shots here. If we can get green and get the white flag, the race will be official after that. Man, what a heartbreak for Violet Void. Heart goes out to that team for putting up such a great race here tonight, just to get it swiped away in the closing laps with 2 laps to go. There's no reason that should have happened, but it did. And here we are now with green-white checkered attempt number 1. Cassie Perkins, Carlos Eduardo heading into the restart here. Jonah Burridge and Timothy Buchanan. And it's a great restart. The front of the field side by side going down the front stretch. You couldn't ask for a better restart there. Cassie Perkins gets the edge here. Jonah Burridge right on her tail. But it's going to be Jonah Burridge taking the inside away. Cassie Perkins is going to get shuffled up high here. Joao Vitor, Sophie Harwick, Ace Vaden, those are your 4 on that inside train. Even AJ Kosnoff could figure out a way to get to the front here. White flag waving. It's Jonah Burridge leading the way. Sophie Harwick now up to 2nd. Those are the Void Motorsports. 2nd and 3rd with the 21 and the 65. 65 gets shuffled out here. But it's smooth sailing ahead for Jonah Burridge as he's going to roll to his 2nd win of the season. in very traumatic fashion for the rest of the field. I don't think anyone at least saw Burridge showing up to win this one here tonight, and a little bit of luck and perseverance. That 45, your current points leader, is going to keep rolling with that points lead. Ralph Oberstadt comes home third. Second place, Sophie Harwick, Logan Nagy, Craig Popkris, Bailey Parker, Cassie Perkins, Carlos Eduardo, AJ Kosnoff, and Jameson Thole rounding out your top 11, it looks like. Ace Vaden was ninth, so he wasn't in the ninth position after the flag, but finished ninth overall for your top 10. Well, all be damned, folks. What a wild, wild ride here tonight around Atlanta. Yeah, the floor is open. If Sigma officials have got to look at anything, there's going to be replay footage being carefully monitored after the fact here tonight, as Willow Racing probably has a reason to gripe about the situation involving the 70 and the 00 there. Sometimes it's a racing incident, and sometimes it's just an ARCA incident, and that is one of those ARCA incidents that you just don't often see, and when they do happen, it's hard to justify it sometimes. So that is race 4 in the books for Sigma ARCA. We finally have our first multi-winner on the season, with Jonah Burridge winning 2 races so far in the early running. He's won races 2 and race 4. Marred by controversy. Obviously, this weekend's going to be a hot topic for this ARCA race. You know, it's one of those things that I've made it a rule at the super speedways. If a driver is not meeting minimum race pace, we DQ them. And obviously, that would have been one of those situations at a super speedway where we would have disqualified a driver not meeting adequate race pace, and it could have avoided a fiasco like tonight. But as it always is, there's always two sides to every story. Obviously, everyone else had the same risk, and there was the same reward for those risking it. An obvious win, but unfortunately for Violet Void, just miscalculated and ended her day early within 2 laps to go. So, well, with that, folks, that's a wrap for tonight. You're going to have Cup Series from Irwindale later today as well, so don't forget to tune into that. But thanks for tuning into the ARCA race, the support race before the Cup one. So, have a good one, folks. Hopefully we'll see you on the Cup stream later tonight. And with that, have a great one. This is Jakester signing out.